All right, welcome to the first ever video podcast, geeksgamers.com, Geeks and Gamers group on Facebook. I am Jay Rambo, and I have my co-host here, Mr. Rick the Dragon Blackerby. How are you tonight, Rick?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. Long time ago, you guys may not believe this, but my big face self dearly loves karaoke, and I got the nickname Naked Jay long time ago. Long story, not going to get into that. And my co-host here got the nickname Dragon. Another embarrassing story I'm not going to get into. So we decided we would co-star together karaoke stage abroad, if you will, as the Naked Dragon. But we didn't just sing awesome rock songs. No, we covered greats like Pink's You in Your Hand Tonight. That's how fearless me and my co-host are, and how unafraid to bring you cutting edge and awesome information live on every week that we get a chance to be on these daggum things before our fearless commander-in-chief decides to regulate internet usage and we're all paying through the nose just to be online for a few minutes at a time. So for all you guys out there, sit tight, be aware that we are a fun group. We enjoy all things geeky and gamery alike. As you can see behind me in the backdrop, I'm actually in my son's room, a.k.a. the studio. And you see behind me, we've got some Call of Duty Ghosts happening, and my son's a big Alabama fan. Had to get his Nick James thing made in a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 style, because that's how I roll as a dad. Can't help myself. I love my boys, and if they're geeks and gamers alike, hey, more power to them. Rick, I don't mean to throw you right into the middle of this, man, but I think you and I need to have this. We need to have this conversation. Sons of Anarchy, brother. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Wow. I have to give props to Kurt Sutter, man. He brought it together in a way, like I expected things like that to happen at the end. Try not to get too many spoilers for anybody that's actually has not seen the show yet. But he brought it together in a way that just fit perfectly. Like he tied up all ends. I mean, the episode was just fantastic and deep and emotional, and it was close to me. Like, I feel with the show ending, like I've lost a friend, like somebody that I won't be able to see anymore. And it's weird to have that kind of connection to a show, but I give full credit to Kurt Sutter and the way he writes stuff. That's the reason for it. He's a genius.
Well, now you and I, surprisingly enough, we got into a great debate. I don't know, about 2 years ago, I think it was. You had the opinion Breaking Bad, best show ever, and I had the opinion Sons of Anarchy, best show ever. Who wins? Who wins this round?
Wow, that's tough, man, because they both were fantastic shows, and they both ended on perfect notes, in my opinion. Wow. I don't know. I think the way that I felt, like I enjoyed Breaking Bad to the last minute, and at that point, yeah, I did consider that to be the best one so far. But I never felt that emotional connection to Walter or to Jesse or any of those on that show, like I have to Jax and the other members of the club and Sam Crow. So I'm actually going to give this one, not just because it went longer, but just for everything involved, to Sons of Anarchy.
Hey, man, I can't argue with that at all.
Yeah, it's close, and I'm not downing Breaking Bad in any way, because that was such a fantastic show itself too. And I'm looking forward to the spinoff, Better Call Saul. But yeah, Sons of Anarchy, as far as an experience from the moment it started to the moment it ended, there was never a time in between where I was like, it felt like it dragged or anything. It was great from every episode to every episode. So I give it to Sons, man.
Now, let me ask you this. If you could change one thing about, say you were the writer, you had unlimited control, you had the ability to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to bring, what one thing would you have changed about Breaking Bad?
That's tough, man. I may have to think about that for a minute.
Well, while you're thinking, my edge of that, I think Jesse should have died too. I think that the death of those two should have also been the death of the blue heroine. Like, I don't understand, if he was dying and he was giving up his legacy, why not destroy the product? He obviously never meant to be a drug dealer anyway. So with him
Right.
dying and Jesse also dying, all the known people that have this recipe are now gone. They're obliterated. They're no more. So,
Right.
in my opinion, the only piece that I would have added to that show would have been killing off Jesse at the end as well. So no more victims, no more bodies, no more hair. I mean, no more crystal meth. It's done. It's over with.
I think that the writers for that show implied that in a sense with the ending, but I can see what your point, because if he died, it would have been an actual conclusion to it that the viewer does. But I think sort of like Sons of Anarchy does, because it ended and left it where you can kind of figure out the rest on your own. I think that's what they did with Breaking Bad, because it left with basically Jesse riding off into the sunset, and whether he went and moved and got back into the business, or whether he wiped his hands of it with the money he had and was blessed in the lucky stars he was alive and just stopped and started his life over, it's kind of left to the viewer on that. So yeah, a conclusion to it would have been good. I agree on that, but I think that that's what the aim of the writers were going with that when they ended the show on that note.
Okay, so now going back into Sons of Anarchy, you said you felt like they kind of left it up to the imagination of the viewers. Now, we can't give away the spoilers yet. There are some people, I believe, still haven't seen the ending, so I'm not going to say what happens. But what I am going to say is that, yes, while there was a definitive transition from here's a bunch of things that need to have happened and here's a bunch of things that have happened, and the way Jax kind of selflessly goes out there and handles that business on his own, and in return, he's left this club with blank for the future. He's eliminated his kids from being involved in it. He's gotten rid of the people he cared about to push them off down the road. So they're somewhere else away from this club. But I still feel, and maybe you agree or not, I still feel like there's a certain level of blowback now that's going to hit that club because of him. What do you think?
Yeah, it could be, because for the most part, at least for what was currently going on, all of the stuff was tied up. All of the loose ends were tied up. But like I said, that's just for current, not counting any past or previous encounters that the club had had. I want to believe that everything's left good. Like, as my point of view in it, I want to believe that it left with the clean hands, as you said. Like, his sons were safe and away from him. His family was good, stuff like that. But it's still the way I'm trying not to ruin that, so this is really hard to do, but it's still left for me in the sense that you could think, well, what if this did happen a couple years from now, or 10 years from now, or what's going to happen to the remaining members? Like, what's going to happen to the ones that are they going to stay in it? Is it going to expand again? Are they going to collapse? Like, it kind of left you with those questions. And it's not like cliffhanger questions, like I have to know they need to do it again or bring it back. It's like, I can kind of figure out what I want to on this and get my own closure from it. So I kind of like what he did with that.
Okay, so with this debate, let me ask you this. Your favorite single scene in Breaking Bad, what was it?
Ooh, the whole series, or?
Like, okay, let's say your favorite, most impactful scene. Like, what do you think was the coolest thing to watch happen on that series in a single segment, like that one snippet that had to do with that one thing? What would you say had the most power and effect on you?
I would have to say it was, I don't remember which season this was. I think it was either 2 or 3, when Walter pretty much left Jesse's girlfriend to die and helped her along the way by turning her on her back when they were high. Yeah, I think that honestly, the pressure he was under at that point from Gus, and it was season 3, pressure he was under from Gus and trying to get that to move it, and then at that point making a snap decision, which wasn't even necessary, to let her die. I think that was the pivotal moment that Walter really started going down to becoming Heisenberg. Like, I think that was the moment where Walter White died and Heisenberg was born, in my opinion. He had put on the hat and stuff before. Like, I think that was his downfall.
That's deep. And I say, I'll give you that. That's a great scene. That's a very powerful scene. To me, though, the scene that grabbed me the most, it said this show has gone from an 8 to a 9, was the killing of Gus. That was the most epic scene. They show this man's face. It's half a face. They pan around. The other half looks like Scorpio from Mortal Kombat. Awesome scene.
man. I was amazed that they actually, because as far as just television, I know television's gotten a little bit riskier and stuff over the years, but that was just like a jaw-dropping moment for a television series that just comes on cable. Like, that was huge. I'll give you that too, man. That was a very intense scene, and everything that led up to that scene too. Because he has so much stuff. I don't remember everything he had to do, but I remember that whole episode. He had to go through so much just to get to that point. Plus, I always like laughing at Hector. Ding, 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 ding.
All right, same question. Sons of Anarchy, #1 most powerful scene to use. What was the scene that, when it happened, you knew from that moment forward you were all in? There's no going back. You are a diehard Sons of Anarchy fan.
Okay, I'll give you that one, but I'm gonna give you this one real quick. It's not the most huge scene for me, but the most shocking at the moment because I just did not expect it. I think it was towards the end of season 2. Oh God, hold on, I'm gonna have to get on. Look at this guy's name. He was one of the. I think he was a prospect, or he was a what do they call the guys that wandered?
Like hang-arounds?
Yeah, no, he wasn't a hang-around. He had a cut.
That's a prospect, man.
Okay.
You talking about Half Sack?
No. It was back in season 2. It was.
That was his last season. Was season 2? Was he gets killed at the end of that season right before they kidnap Abel?
That's right. It was the one. He had blonde hair. Hold on.
You talking about Kozak?
Kozak. Thank you. That's him. Okay. The scene when they went to fight and literally he just blew up. Like
that
I was not.
Season 4, I think, actually.
Was it that late in it? I couldn't remember exactly.
That might have even been season 5. I'll have to go back and look because it was after the Mexican cartel. They had already set up shop with them. They were fighting to get some of their guns back because of a rival cartel had shown up. And Clay wasn't in power anymore. Jax was, I think. I'm pretty sure of that. Or that might have been the beginning of season 4. But it was because season 2 all was about the family. And then, Jack's kind of pushing back, and then Abel gets kidnapped. And then season 3 is all about Belfast. And then season 4 is when you start to see the dissension in the ranks. Jax is noticeably tired of Clay's crap. He's on the fence about what he's going to do with his life. He's considering nomad. And all of that kind of happens, and then everything goes back to good again. Or, wait, I don't know. Maybe now I'm second-guessing myself. I'm going to have to go back and watch because wasn't season 2 is the one when Zobel shows up.
Yes.
So were they fighting with the Mexican stuff, or was that the... I don't know, man, because I thought all the AB stuff happened. They was just a big field fight. There wasn't really any gunfire.
Kind of. Yeah.
I'm going to have to Google that, man. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, this is what's about to happen. I'm about to go on this Google, because I don't like to be wrong.
Kozak. All right, he was in seasons from 2009 to 2011, so that would have been... Is there anything that shows me?
I'm trying to find real quick.
Called it season 2.
Okay, yeah, this pulled up something completely different.
He was a member of the Coma chapter, and he was waiting to see if he could get moved over into Charming.
Right, so that would have gone along with, because season 4 is when they all go to jail. Or was that the end of season 3? No, that was the end of season 3 when they all go to jail. So yeah, it would have had to have been season 4 because season 3 they end by getting picked up by the ATF, and that's when they kill Stahl and all that stuff. Remember?
Yeah, that was just the shocking moment because they're like running out. They were about to, or they were already shooting at these guys, and like he just runs, and then the look on his face in split second, he's just blown up because he stepped on that mine, and I stopped, and to be honest, I think I was watching with you. Didn't I laugh?
Oh yeah, we all did. We all cracked up because it's like, what's the last thing that went through your mind? Oh, my ass.
That's good. That's good. All right. So, but as far as a deep moment, okay. See, it's so funny because,
man, dadgummit. Unfortunately, I have to stop the broadcast here because for some reason, every once in a while, my internet connection cuts back, and I just dropped good old Rick. So this is the first episode. I know it's incomplete. I do apologize for that. I am going to work out the kinks on why my internet connection just booted my friend. But other than that, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this more than you would imagine, and the fact that I finally, oh, hey, Rick's back. Yay, I don't have to end the show. Woo!
No, it just randomly decided to disconnect me for some reason. Sorry about that.
I'm in the middle of closing the show because I thought you were gone. My internet connection was screwed up, so I'm all like, I'm sorry, guys, for cutting the show a little early, and I don't mean to.
Oh, I'm here. Do you want to keep going, or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. But, okay, so you were getting into your deep moment. So we talked about Kozik, and now we're jumping into the other deep moment. It really sold you into, I've got to watch the show to see what's going to happen next. Where do we go from there? And he froze up again. While I'm waiting on him to come back, if we can get him back on here again, I will tell you guys that my deepest moment, surprisingly enough, I know a lot of you guys probably think it's going to be the death of Opie. And if you haven't seen the series and I just ruined that for you, I'm sorry. That was several seasons ago. I just assume most people by now know. So my biggest, deepest moment is got to be when the death of Donna happens, because to me, that sets the precedence for everything else that comes after it. Without that death, they don't pull Opie back in. And without Opie back in, a lot of the things don't happen. Like with this, when him and Bobby go to kill that guy that was a witness, and then that all gets messed up. And so, I mean, without that one key scene, you've got Clay being the villain. He's got now Tager, or Tig as we know him, doing his dirty work, and he's supposed to kill Opie, who is supposedly sold out as a rat. And here's this guy that's gone and committed this major sin against a club family member, and then what? Like, nothing happens. I mean, so there was a long history. Like, that really was the precedence, I think, of what it showed. This is how the secrets have become secrets. And it slowly starts to evolve into, there's all this danger, there's all these secrets being kept, there's all these things that are going to happen, and every bit of it gets a little dirtier and a little wittier and a little stronger and a little harder to digest. That by the time the show killed Opie off,
that was my moment, by the way.
Oh, I figured. I mean, that's most people's. Like, that was the thing. You can't help but root for these guys. They're criminals, but you want them to win. And I mean, it's you know, Jeremy Griggs. I'm going to give you credit, sir. I know you're not a part of this exact show, but we all are a part of this exact show. But Jeremy Griggs pointed out something to me a long time ago about. Of course, I'm going to brain fart right now. I'm in the middle of talking about this, and I'm going to brain fart about it. My God. That's what I was saying something important. Now I don't remember. It'll come back to me. But, you know, this show... Jeremy Griggs. That's what I was going to go with this. Jeremy Griggs reminded me about something. It's his favorite wrestler, and I'll tell you, he's right. Stone Cold Steve Austin, I give credit to all of these shows. The Breaking Bad, The Shield, the Sons of Anarchy, having you root for the bad guy has all come from him. I mean, we started to root for the bad guy when Stone Cold, who's supposed to be a heel, becomes one of the biggest superstars ever in the WWE, and it started a trend that the bad guy can be cool too. You don't have to just root for the good guy to win. You can root for the bad guy, and when you do, hey, you get behind something that's bigger than yourself. It's bigger than anything. And we all kind of get to live a little vicariously through these criminals, and here we are. You know, we're right here. We're in the middle of this world that's now over, and all of us are sitting back going, "My God, that was magic."
Yeah, that's you pretty much hit the nail on the head with that, man.
Well, you know, I wanted to specifically debate that with you tonight. I think that you and I have managed to capture that moment pretty well. Breaking Bad versus Sons of Anarchy, and I will say, hands down, Sons of Anarchy wins this. But let me be clear, I take nothing away from Sons of Anarchy. I mean, not Sons of Anarchy, sorry. I take nothing away from Breaking Bad. Wonderful show, very well written. Did take me a little while to get into. The first season's a little choppy. I'm not gonna lie to anybody that's never seen it. The first season's a little bit choppy. But like I said in an earlier thing, you know, you guys got to remember, we, the audience, have to get behind characters A, B, C, D, or however many they have. And without a little backstory and without a little bit of an emotion, without something to tie us to them, these shows are going to flop no matter what. I mean, and I have to tip my hat to not just the writing staff, but you've got a directorial staff that are absolutely brilliant in capturing, here's this segment on a piece of paper that says such and such happens with such and such, and they have to turn regular words into an artistic expression that's caught on camera that we believe what happened. So, you know, I tip my hat to those guys. Breaking Bad and Sons of Anarchy, 2 great seasons that ended, I believe, far too soon, but in their way by telling the story they needed to tell and ending it properly. So my hat goes off to you guys. I give Breaking Bad a 9. I give Sons of Anarchy a 10. That's all there is to it. So that's you want to add anything to that, Rick?
No, I completely agree with you on that, man. They're both great. Sons of Anarchy just got me on an emotional level, like from the very beginning. So, yeah, Sons of Anarchy.
It's hard not to ride that ride. I mean, it's hard. I mean, every little thing that happened. I mean, you
Trust
hate
me, I know.
and love each character so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, that's going to actually conclude tonight's episode. This is a trial run, a ghosting first edition only. I'm sure only a handful of people will see this, but for all of you guys that do, I thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you, Rick, for joining me. And hopefully this will become more than just a one-night thing, so we can enjoy bringing you guys the info that we tend to tailor to our friends at geeksgamers.com and the groups Geeks and Gamers on Facebook. If you're friends with me, just go on my groups, add yourself then. If you're not, look for it. If you have any love for anything at all that is geeky or gamey, PlayStation, Xbox doesn't matter, PC, 3DS doesn't matter, Nintendo, Wii U doesn't matter. We're all one big family, and we all get to talk about these things together. Message us up, man. Hit us up in the boards. You know, chime in on the things you want. Start new topics if they're not there. But be warned, there is an active banhammer, and if you don't follow the group's rules, you too may find yourself on the outs going, what did I do? So when you do join, make sure you click over on the Files tab. Read the rules, man. Take a few minutes. Get to know the site. There's only a few of them, so it's not like you got to read for 10 days to figure out what to not do or what to do. It's just simple. Respect each other. Be courteous to your fellow geeks and gamers, and try not to use a ton of potty words. We're not fans of that. We're all adults here. We don't need the excess crap. Plus, there's going to be kids on here too, and we don't need them seeing us, the adults, setting bad examples. So other than that, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Rick, for joining me. Tune in next time, and we will see you guys then. Have a great night. Deuces, and I'm out.